everyone. Welcome to the Glow Podcast. I'm here today with a very exciting guest. I have Nicole from Urban U, and I'm super excited to speak with her. But for those of you who are new here, we are Tailored Marketing, and we specialize in partnering with longevity, wellness, and medical spas to increase their business through strategic marketing and sales strategies. So if you are interested, drop a comment below. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on. I would love if you would just kind of go ahead and give a little bit of an introduction so the listeners know who you are.
Yeah, my name's Nicole Gregory. I am the founder and CEO of Urban U. We are a multi-location medical spa based in Michigan. We focus obviously on aesthetics and wellness, but one of our main areas that we've really looked at to differentiate ourselves with has been through technology. So I always love to tell people we are a medical aesthetics business, but we focus on how can we elevate the experience, which is really the business we're in. We're in an experience business
For sure.
through technology.
Yeah, no, and I think you brought up such a good point too. Like being in aesthetics, especially wellness, it's not like going to your primary care physician or your dentist. Like it should be like a fun, engaging experience where you get to like be excited about going and seeing your esthetician or your nurse practitioner and like be on a first name basis with them too. It's a very, very different experience.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was in one of our locations today and this lady came in and she had this huge smile on her face. And I say, "Hey, how are you?" And she's like, "I have been looking forward to coming here all day." She goes, I haven't been in a little bit. She goes, she goes, from the phone calls to getting in here. She goes, "I've always had such a great experience." And you could just tell she was excited to be there.
Yeah.
So you're 1,000% right. It's all about how you make people feel. And, honestly, we're in the business of experience, but giving people that feeling they can go home with and, hopefully after the procedure, feel more confident and carefree, but also just feel like I was someplace I feel like I belong because
Yeah.
aesthetics can be either you're kind of super high level, super bougie, and like, do I fit in
Yeah.
here? Or maybe you're really kind of medical and straight laced, and you're walking to this room that has no personality or feel, or like you said, to a doctor's office. So I think there's opportunity in there for really elevating that experience.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I think that, yeah, like I said, it's that the lady, it sounds like she was probably looking forward to it like all month, not just
She said I was sitting in the parking lot just smiling, waiting for my time to come in. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, and as a business owner too, you're like that's like what we strive for. So that's so fun. And so I know that you all offer kind of an array of different services within aesthetics and wellness as well. And so what have you kind of seen that's like really popular that people are coming into maybe more now than say they were even like a year or two ago?
That's a great question. One of the product lines that we carry, I was going to do a video with some of their products today. And I was going to put on one of our shirts just to say, as I was doing the video. And it was an old shirt from 7, 8 years ago. And we called ourselves Urban U Beauty Bar at that point. So we started out, and the idea is you can come in here and get services. Like did blowouts, we did high-end design nails, all the way through the aesthetics, very, very little wellness.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, we changed over to medical aesthetics and wellness. And so focusing on that wellness piece, the holistic piece of who you are, it really became front and center because as a person, and it's again that sense of belonging, we want to see you not only come in there and get your services, but go in there and know you've been seen. What we offer compared to what we offered when we first started is 1,000% different. So we really focus on the aesthetic side, but also the wellness side. So we do the weight loss, we do some NAD, skinny shots, all those wellness services that are, quote unquote, popular right now.
Yeah.
But we also do an experience that's called New Calm, and it's a neuroacoustic experience. So you're listening through a headset that can bring you through your alpha beta waves up and down in 20 minutes. You can get a whole reset of your day. And we have clients that just love that, right? So I think what we're offering today and what's successful today, we might not be offering tomorrow because we see
Yeah.
so many changes coming along. From the aesthetics side of it, so the wellness side is always evolving. I think that's the interesting part on the wellness side. We're always just kind of adding and subtracting a few things. But aesthetically, people are really looking for that natural look. And they're really
Yeah.
looking for rejuvenation or preventative. And that's usually through some biostimulators of some sort. So they're wanting something that's going to, and it used to be different because the days of the filler, people are still doing a lot of HA filler. They're just doing it differently. But people wanted to see that result right away. Like if I'm going to go in and I'm going to get some type of HA filler, I want to walk out and like feel like a different person. Where now today, when you look at the biostimulators, you don't see anything for 6 months, the results. So you really have to be patient. And you're putting a lot of money and investment toward that. So I find that interesting. The consumer isn't as kind of immediate self-gratification. The consumer is willing to put this money and investment into that wellness side of them more so than they were even a few years ago.
Yeah, I think the wellness side of the business too, in like just in general, kind of like working in the industry is so interesting because it is evolving so much. As you were saying, like you were like, we might not even offer these services like tomorrow. It's hard to even look at what it has in store, say like a year from now, because it is evolving so quickly. And how do you kind of like stay on the forefront of that evolution? Because obviously there are so many players in the space, and so it's hard to like know, okay, what's the next thing we should be offering, like what are people after?
So it is hard because there's always a new trend. There's always
Yeah.
someone's always trying to sell you that something too, like, oh, you have to buy this to do this to get this. And so you really have to be careful. You have to first of all kind of go to the core value of who you are as a company and going, is that a service we want to offer? If
Yeah.
it's a no, you just move it aside. If it's a yes, then you kind of have to go through this decision tree of, is this something we can layer with another service? Meaning, if you have someone in the room with an injectable of sorts, can you layer another injectable on there? Can you layer another consultation on that so that they can then move through that funnel or that opportunity for them? So how do you find services that are right for your business, for your clientele? You have to go to conferences. You have to be networked within the industry. You're talking to industry leaders. Honestly, what drives a lot of this industry in the past, again, the science of beauty is kind of driving it now, where people are really wanting, tell me the science, tell me about the biostimulators. That's driving it. But what's driven it in the past, so it's a combo of this and the science of beauty, is, the Dr. TikTok, the Dr. Google, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going there kind of sharing what they feel or what they see. And, for example, the Kardashians were one of the first big celebrities, in the space.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone modeled themselves after. Like, I want that look. And so you
Yeah.
still see a lot of it being consumer driven. So you do have to be in touch with what consumers are asking for and wanting. But then you also have to be able to say, well, here's what's coming kind of from the science side of it. How does that apply? Are consumers even ready for it? Sometimes consumers, biostimulators have actually been around for a bit and consumers were not ready for it. Until a few years after the pandemic.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. So it's like taking kind of the science portion of it and like where are we at with the science, and then also consumer driven behavior too. It's like, okay, what do consumers want? Like what do they need as well? And you kind of have to take both into consideration. Yeah, no, that's super cool. And so what would you say is kind of on the horizon for Urban You? I'm sure that you all have evolved a lot over the years that you have been in business for. And so what are you all kind of most focused on right now?
Well, it's taking a little bit of that consumer input and comboing it with technology, which is one of our core areas I love looking at technology. I grew up in technology, honestly. In 6th grade, I remember my mom said, you're going to go to the high school, you're going to do this computer programming class. It was the middle of summer in Michigan, not a fun place to be with no AC. But I remember falling in love with what I was able to develop on the screen from a technology standpoint. You can put some inputs in and you get something out. So I've always found that love of technology. And what consumers are really looking for now is being able to put in their input, which is honestly working with AI. So we have an AI generator on our website, which anyone can go to, theurbanu.com, and it will take a picture of you and it will ask you a few questions like, what areas of need do you have? What are you thinking? So the consumer's thinking, oh, I saw this on TikTok, or my friend got
Yeah.
this, right? So now the consumer can kind of play with it. Maybe, maybe I want more symmetrical look. Maybe I want just larger lips.
Yeah.
What does a biostimulator look like? And my skin quality. Skin quality has really become a big thing. So within the AI generator, you can play with skin quality, like looking at laser, looking at microneedling, and what that would do to your skin. It's so interesting that people will bring that in. We get the information on our side so we can see it before they come in and get a quick analysis of maybe, the AI will put out, here's the things you need to get that, to achieve that look. But then we have the opportunity to kind of look at it and reevaluate it. But then they'll come in with that picture and say, hey, this is the look I kind of perfected for myself. Because it's so different before, even a couple of years ago. Well, even now, I mean, there's a ton of before and afters, but your before and after is totally different than what it's going to look like on me. It's like, me as a 50-plus 50-year-old trying to get into a teenage, kind of clothing line, right? It's not going to
Yeah.
work. But like you have to look, having the technology now where we can look, the consumer can make that decision based on their knowledge, and we can make that decision with them in the room and kind of matching the two of what they can actually achieve.
Yeah. No, that's really, really cool. I have seen the AI simulators before and they're honestly awesome. And it's also a really good like lead generation source too,
It
because
is.
you have these people that are putting in their information and like they're like, "Oh my gosh, like that's what I would look like if I got just like a little bit of lip filler." Like
Mhm.
where can I schedule my appointment?
Right, right. And they do get excited about it. They get excited to see that outcome.
Yeah, 100%. Do you find that the AI simulator that you all are using, like it actually is similar to the results that you're getting in the practice?
Yes. Yeah, we
Yeah,
do. We've been with them for a little bit and they're constantly improving their technology. And they're adding more features to it, such as the skin quality and texture. And we can put in as well, like product recommendations,
that's cool.
because I think it's important that people realize there's only so much you can do in location. You're coming in once every few months for some type of talks, or maybe once every year or two for a filler,
Yeah,
facial maybe once a month, but the real work happens in your bathroom on a
for
morning and
sure.
nightly basis with good products. And so that's been really great for us to be able to have the AI generator based on age and based on what the look they want to achieve, based on the products that we carry, help give suggestions to the consumer. For that longevity. And they can come in too then and have a general idea of what products they should be purchasing and have a budget almost assigned to.
Yeah,
That's the attainability of the industry. A handful of years ago, there were only so many in the space, and prices were quite high.
yeah,
And now there's a lot, and prices have dropped a bit. But it's cash pay. It's expensive, but they're expensive services. I mean, if
yeah.
I wasn't in the industry, would I be doing it? Yes, of course. But how much I would be doing it. So I think the attainability is the important part in giving people an idea, especially in our economic state right now, with everything going on. So we offer some products that people can not only come in with this look and know some of the products they might want to purchase, but they also they can be pre-approved for a budget, for
Yeah.
saying, okay, I'm pre-approved for, 2000, or I'm pre-approved for 500, whatever it might be. They can at least come in with confidence and knowing they can achieve that look.
Yeah, that's super cool. So you're with all of the technology that y'all are using, it sounds like you're just making it as easy for your clients to basically come in and be like, okay, just making their decision process easier, really. It's not just somebody like trying to sell you something in person, but it's like, look, like you've kind of done your own separate research at home as well. And this is what you found so you can come in and feel comfortable with the decisions that you're making.
Yeah, it's been a great learning curve on our side, how much the consumer drives this industry, and we're matching up with it. And that's the important part that technology can really help provide is that matchup.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw too on y'all's website that you also offer like some different kind of like membership options as well for different services. And so I'd love to kind of just like hear like a little bit more about that and how that works from a consumer perspective.
Well, I think, memberships are interesting. No, they are, because as a business owner, we've offered it since the first year, and the ideations that we've had of it has changed.
Yeah.
And what we've landed on in the last 5 years is a banking membership. We call it our insider program because I do believe the word membership, everyone's like, wait, I've got a budget. I already pay for my gym. I already have other things.
Yeah.
So it's the insider program, and really it's a savings program for them, where the money just goes into their account, but they get special VIP opportunities, and then discounts on product and services. And then as well, kind of anniversary gifts and birthday gifts. We really try to honor our members as much as possible to make them feel, as a part of that belonging, and they're in that inside of everything that's going on. And
Yeah.
we release our products to them first, we release our services to them first. So I think if you're going to do a membership program, you want to make sure there's value to the
Yeah.
consumer. And we do a biannual survey to our members just to make sure we're hitting the mark. And we just did one. And honestly, I would say a 6 out of 7. We were missing some key pieces, and we've made some changes. I feel, I'm thankful our clients give us the feedback. So I think that's the important part too. As I said, there's been different ideations of things. You got to just kind of listen to the consumer and client and see what they're needing.
Yeah, no, and that's cool. That's like a cool kind of different model where it's almost like a savings account for like when you come in, where it's like you just get the money taken out, and then like you said, you get also like the perks and everything. But I like that model because it's like maybe one month you're like, I don't really need anything, but then say 3 months from now you're like, okay, I have like 3 services I need.
Yes. But, well, and it's not, not everyone does it for this reason, but we found that, when our first yearish, people that were coming in were saying, well, I don't want my husband or significant other or wife or whatever to know I'm doing these services. So one, we made our receipts really generic. So if they saw it come through, it was very
I
generic.
love that.
But also having the insider program allows them to not just take out big chunks of money.
Yeah.
So it's good, it's good for relationships.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
saving
Yeah,
marriages.
yeah. No, I love that. That's so fun making it generic. So then if they're looking at like, oh, the bank statements, they're like, oh, that looks normal, you know?
Right. I don't know what that is, but it's
That's so cool. Yeah, and so I guess I would love to just hear like a little bit more about maybe like some of the popular services that y'all are offering that a lot of people are coming in for. I know we talked a little bit in the beginning about wellness, but also just in general too.
well, one of the services you'll find this interesting is its weight loss has been a really big uptick in the market. I was just at a conference in California this weekend, and the company that I was with, they are betting really big. They're a partner of ours that sells, Tox and HA filler,
Okay.
and they're betting really big on weight loss. And I found it super interesting because even though aesthetics in the market feels like it's growing fast,
Yeah.
weight loss is growing like 4 times exponentially faster. Like it was baseline just a couple of years ago, like at 0, right? And now it's almost outgrown aesthetics. Actually, it has, based on the
That's
numbers they
crazy.
shared. So they're betting heavily. So why would a tox and filler company bet heavily on weight loss? Well, first of all, the growth. But second of all, when you do lose weight, you obviously, your fine lines, wrinkles, you have volume loss. There's a
Yeah.
huge opportunity to help patients, look their best. So they've lost some weight, they're feeling really confident, but wait a second, I have these extra little things. How do I fix that? So I think one of the opportunities for business owners in this space is to think of trend services that are happening. I would consider weight loss a trend service, although I think it's going to be around for a while. Like I think it's going to
Yeah.
be here to stay. But trend services that you can grow with. And again, you might turn those off. So right now, one of our most looked at blogs is Ozempic face,
Okay.
and which is so interesting because people are like, wait, they've lost their weight, they have that, they want to know more. prior to that, like one of our most by for a long time, it was Russian lips. And I don't know if you remember that trend. It was a handful of years ago. It was a really kind of flat lip kind of
Okay.
look. And then we had the snatched look, which everyone loved, right? The real sculpted look. So
Yeah.
those types of blogs and what people are looking for tend to do, again, they're all trend services, but you are still selling the product. So the product is the filler, the tox, maybe it's the body sculpting or laser. Those all fit within those trends, but now you're trying to reach very specific markets. So are our products changing? Not necessarily, but again, the way the consumers are thinking is changing.
Yeah, and that's something you always have to be thinking about. And it's interesting to me too, just talking with other businesses and seeing the businesses that I work with kind of and how things are evolving. And one of the things that I feel like we've seen evolving a lot too, and I'm sure y'all have seen this on your end as well, like every business I talk to has, is the consumer, how they're searching too. It's like people are going to ChatGPT and then that's how they're getting driven to your blogs rather than them like going to Google. And sometimes it's harder to find things. So like if you're one of the only people that have like a blog like that on and it has like the most keywords, then you're going to come up first in ChatGPT for like, okay, I've lost a bunch of weight and like my face doesn't like exactly look the way I want it to. What can I do? And then that's how they're coming to your blog almost.
Yeah, someone about a year and a half ago gave me the best piece of advice, and they said SEO optimization is key. I'm like, yeah, we've been doing that. They said, no, it's not search engine optimization, it's search everywhere optimization.
Yeah.
And they really gave the example of AI and ChatGPT and how all of that was going to make a difference if you wanted to kind of hit on the top of things. And so we've been focused on doing some of that work so we can come up on top.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome. Yeah, because it's always changing. It's like you can't just do it for Google. You have to do it for now, like all of the LLMs, all of everything. And it's going to continue to change and evolve as well.
Taylor, I'd love to know your thoughts. You've talked to so many businesses. What's your thought on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is great, especially for other business owners who are maybe looking to connect with other business owners. Sometimes I think for like a medical spa, maybe it's not the worst place to be, but it might not be the best place to be either, just because a lot of people are going there to make other B2B connections rather than find maybe like where they're gonna get their weight loss supplements or like where they're gonna get Botox next. But I think LinkedIn's really, really good, especially like for building a personal brand as well too. Really, really good. Like I said, connecting with other businesses too. But if you're looking to market to other consumers, then it might not be the exact place to be.
It's so interesting you say that because I feel like it's underutilized for that exact reason, because our target audience it's honestly it's still females. Only 15% of the market are males.
Yeah.
So it's still females, but they're wanting to have a trusted authority that they can go to that can give them information. So we've been doubling down on some LinkedIn opportunities because of that. Now, not necessarily sharing before and afters, but sharing how we're using AI, sharing how we are looking at trends and kind of what the next things are. So being like a thought leader and trying
Authority building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we, as a kind of a side note, we have started doing corporate memberships as well over the last year. And what does that look like? You're going to work with service-based businesses in the area. We started out, I'm really focused on like attorneys, smaller, 50 to 100 employees, and saying, what are you offering for wellness? So for us to build that authority on LinkedIn, we had to do some of that. And it really has helped us tremendously. We've gotten a nice client base from that. And what does that do for us is you're not now fighting with all of the, everyone else who's fighting for one client. Yeah. We're getting 50 to 100 at one time. Little tip for anyone listening. It's a great opportunity, but you have to, really use the content. I think.
Yeah, no, and like for what you just said too, like corporate memberships, that's amazing. Like that's exactly where you should be for things like that. And also, yeah, like I think authority building, LinkedIn is also great too. So, I mean, I'm glad to see that y'all have also found a way to utilize the platform where you're utilizing it correctly, because like it is hard on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok to win clients, and when you are doing it like you said, it's just one at a time, which is great, but it's also like if you can win 50 to 100, then who's going to take the one?
Right, right. And it's almost honestly sometimes more work to get the one because you're
Yeah,
competing against 50 other places, right? So,
for sure.
it does take a longer sales cycle to do the 50 or 100 at one time, but you're spending your time is spent, I guess, appropriately that way.
Yeah, no, that's super, super cool. I love that insight. That's awesome. Well, let everyone know, what is the best place to find you? What is the best place to find Urban You? I will also include all of the links in the show notes as well for easy access.
Yeah, thank you. If anyone has any specific questions, they can email me, Nicole at theurbanu.com. Absolutely happy to answer any questions. And then at theurbanu on Instagram. And then my personal Instagram is at Passport Moments. So started that years ago because we travel a lot with our family, and I love talking to others who have done a lot of travel as well. So if you are, and here's the interesting part, when I travel around the country or world, I see how people are doing aesthetics and wellness differently, and I think there's a lot to learn from each other.
Yeah, no, that's super, super cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.